Hi, everyone. We're just going to wait a moment while everyone comes in from the waiting room. Okay. All right. I think we have most people here. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jessica Dugas, and I'm an Assistant Director of Athletic Development with the Davidson Athletic Fund. And I help Jen and Rennie with their external and fundraising efforts. We want to be cognizant of everyone's time today, so I have a few Zoom housekeeping tips to go over. Please make sure you're on mute to reduce any background noise so we can get through the program quickly. Both Jenny and Ren will be giving some overviews of the season, recaps. Right now, we'll want to stay on speaker view, and then we'll have a Q&A after each coach has a chance to present, and then you'll probably want to move your screen into gallery view. For the Q&A, you can also use the raise hand feature. That's a digital raise hand that's available by clicking on participants, and I can call on you from there, or feel free to speak up when we ask for questions for each coach. So I think that takes care of those housekeeping items, and I am going to go ahead and get us started. So give me one moment here. Okay, so we have Coach Straub and Coach Waldron here. We're going to go ahead and get started and talk about life on campus.
Life on campus. Well, very interesting. Life has not been on campus for about a year. So the only campus we've seen is, the track and field facility that we're so blessed is still open so that our athletes have a place to train. We've been lifting weights outdoors under tents. We've been doing numerous Zoom calls. And so it's been very interesting, but the team is very resilient, and I think we're just growing throughout this whole experience.
Yeah, as you might imagine, kind of a trying year for all of us. And I think, student life isn't what it was pre-COVID, right? And, we've had to have necessary restrictions on campus. We can't have gatherings and that kind of stuff. What has come out of that, though, is the athletes have felt like practice is their outlet. It's their social time. It's their, time to be with friends, and of course the exercise is healthy, and they really look forward to that. It has been a year, like I think in September sometimes the team, it's hard to say, like, okay, are we going to compete in the spring? Is that even there? And as the time has come closer and we've gotten through it, and now that we are in the middle of competing, the kids are doing so great. I mean, they are. But it's been tough, and it has taught all of us, some, resiliency, and we've had to come up with some coping mechanisms. But I think it's also that we're going to come out stronger from the experience.
All right. Do you guys have anything you want to share as far as what life on campus may look like, differing for a student athlete as opposed to a regular student?
Yeah. So, like, the one good thing, oops, sorry, Rennie.
Go ahead.
The one thing that was great for the athletes is they were able to, go outdoors and exercise during practice proper without their mask on, so that they could, have a better opportunity to be successful. And it just made them feel like that was their little pocket of normalcy compared to everybody else. And the fact that they got to get into a bus and leave campus, and just those little things that we take for granted seem to be huge for them right now. And also, they got support from each other, from the other athletic teams, which was really nice to see. It was sort of like we're this band of fellow athletes all trying to get through the same situation. So yeah, like Rennie said, it's the practice, and that just feels like they're home.
Yeah, I don't have much to add to that. It has been, I think, like I said, the kids have released, many of them have said, like, practice is the highlight of the day, especially in the fall. And now, as a big portion of the campus has been vaccinated, and increasingly so with each week pass. And we have been able to lift some restrictions on campus. It's getting a lot easier, of course. And the nice weather always helps everyone. So.
All right, I think we'll move into talking about some running. Do you guys want to maybe recap this very unique cross-country season?
Yeah, so I think cross-country for both programs, and I'll of course let Jen talk more about the women's side, but it's been a very tough year, right? It has been from the beginning of the year of what we thought we could do to having key members of our team. I mean, the men's team was out without, 4 of the top 5 guys. Really, with either COVID, we had 2 kids who had mono. I mean, it was like one thing after another. And throughout that, like, we've had that attitude of, okay, this is not something we can control. We've got to control what we can control. And the kids who are here, who were competing, who were able to compete, did great. And the kids who were, had to sit out, and those, because of, the medical stuff, like, they were incredibly supportive and amazing in how they dealt with it, because it was not easy for them. And, we've had one thing after another, but I think, again, the team has come out stronger. And now, we're in the outdoor season, and we've got those kids back. There's a lot of momentum, which is nice. Cross country, we did see, and we've seen, it's one of the most rewarding things, I think, for you guys and for everyone involved in the programs, to see kids make the jump. So, their training that they've gone through, like, especially from freshman to sophomore year, that's a big one with development. And they did not get the outdoor season last year, and that's huge for their development. It really does hinder their development, because they don't get to go to the races. They don't get the that championship under their belt. Those experiences are invaluable. But man, those kids have made the jump. And cross country was great to see. Like, we had Owen Drometer made his first all conference team in cross country. That was really impressive. The kids have they improved their places over conference from last year a lot. Their individual spots. The kids who ran, and that was really nice to see. So yeah, it's been really nice to see the kids' progress and their hard work paying off. But of course, cross country was really tough, because it takes what it takes, and if you're missing key guys, the team score is not going to be what you'd like it to be at the end of the day. So that's cross country. Jen?
Well, if you would have told me that 2 weeks before our conference championship, my top 8 runners would be in quarantine, I would have said that that's a really cruel joke to put on Coach Straw, because although I like to think I'm very inspirational from a distance, when you have them away from you and you're trying to get them to be close together for a big meet, that was really an exceptionally challenging time, from the fact that they had to work out on their own. They didn't have each other to push each other. So I just said, you know what? This is something that I can't control. They can't control. Let's just be positive. Let's just go into the championship and let's just go run and let the chips fall where they are, because it's been very stressful. And of course, there's such great kids that they're not going to sit there every day and say, Coach, that was like the most stressful 2 weeks of my life, because we're thinking about the championship, but we're not together. They didn't say that to me. They kept it, hidden. And so when, the meet was over and we got to talk, and they just said, we really needed that time to be together. And I felt so bad, because it was like nothing that we could have avoided. And so we just talk a lot about, when we move forward from this type of situation, we just need to remain positive. We need to be good stewards of Davidson. We need to, go out there and compete to the best we can. This is not a long-term thing. The more experience they get this spring, the better they will be in the fall. So I'm just the type of person that says, this is what, we're dealt this hand, and we're going to do it with dignity and grace. And we're just going to try to push through have some great performances this spring, and then move right along. And we have a freshman who was an all-rookie freshman, which is really nice. It's always nice when you have a freshman that comes in and wants to be a really good, strong partner and part of the team. So, yep.
Great, thank you guys. We know the outdoor season is underway. Can you talk a little bit about what the last competitions have looked like for each team?
Jen, you want to go first?
Well, let's see. It was a lot of fun at High Point. It was two of the coldest and windiest days I've ever experienced in my life. I had a long parka on down to my knees, but again, it didn't matter because the girls were so excited to compete. And so, that's what they did. They took the conditions on the chin. The men and women have had great performances just in the 3 meets. We've had 4 or 5 school records broken already on the track side. So, we're just getting it going, and I'm really excited to see what they can do at A10s. And I think Rennie would echo the same thing. His guys have been running really well as well.
Yeah, it's been great. Trying to pick up the momentum that we had. Like last year indoors, we had a program best 4th place finish at conference, and we're 4th place to 3 state schools that have some advantages on us on paper. To George Mason, University of Rhode Island, and VCU, and so coming off of that indoor season where we had people scoring, in all different areas, people in every event coming down to our place, mattering, or holding off LaSalle in the 4x4, and really exciting. And then we're so excited for the outdoor season to build on that. And then of course COVID hits, and all of a sudden it seems like that's so far away. Now as we've gotten back to competing, that momentum is building again, and that's really nice to see. The guys are running great, and I think that especially I would say like the mid-distance group is really rolling, and Hurdler's got off to a good start. Owen Drometer ran the 2nd best time in Davidson history in the 1500. So his first 1500 in a Davidson uniform runs 3:48. He's a redshirt freshman, and he is in really good shape. The whole mid-distance group is just they're ready for big things. Daniel Alvarez Relachio, who won conference last year indoors, he missed a little bit of time. He's getting back. He's going to be running this weekend. So I expect some, to be able to write out some emails, some great results over the next few weeks. But it is really exciting. Daniel wants to try to break the school record in the 800, and of course Owen wants to try to break the school record in the 1500. They're good records, and so it's really exciting at practice right now. The kids are excited for the meets, and they're all working together, and it's a special group. Yeah.
Great, thank you. If neither of you have anything else to add as far as the spring competition season, maybe we'll talk a little bit about recruiting. Jen, you want to go ahead?
Sure. So in regards to, going to A10s at George Mason, we're really not sure right now about if spectators are allowed, but if they are, we'll kind of get that information out for anyone who wants to try to come. But follow the results from afar via flash results. In terms of recruiting, so recruiting was great. So recruiting Zoom style. We didn't get to have anybody on campus, obviously, and so most of our efforts were via Zoom. And I have to tell you, the recruits that we ended up landing thought that our girls did an amazing job of trying to create an atmosphere for them and really selling Davidson in a way that is unprecedented without seeing it. We've got a few girls, Liz Sims, LMU Daughters, they are the greatest ambassadors for our program. They're just going to go ahead and, shine the bright light of Davidson. And so we have like right now, maybe 8 for sure, possibly up to 10, which in a COVID year is really phenomenal. So I'm really proud of our team in that regard. And Brian Doyle, our recruiting coordinator.
Yeah. Yes, before I start to talk about recruiting, just like a little bit of outlook in the season 2, to add what to Jen said, that is another tough thing, right? Is that we have a lot of parents, friends of the program who would normally be able to see us compete at meets, and to not have that is tough. But that being said, I know we've talked about it with our guys, and we know like how appreciative we are of the emails that come in and the support, and like that you guys are watching sometimes on the live streams if there are any. And we're definitely going to have that information out like for conference if they do decide to do that. So yeah, that's been great. It's cool to see that. And then I wonder about kind of a little bit with COVID and where we are with the season 2, how impressed I am with the attitudes of some of the guys. Like our throwers were not allowed to do some of the things that they normally would do, like with like lifting. They don't have all that access to these things that we would in a non-COVID year, and it's necessary, but I know it can be frustrating for them, and they have just been great, really positive attitudes at practice and are coming along, and that is one thing that's just so great to see with our teams. That, we have people in all different areas competing. That's a pretty cool thing. So with recruiting, our programs, I think, really got on it early that like it's going to be totally different this year. Like we realized that in the last spring, that the visits weren't going to happen in the fall. Things were going to be different. So everything was going to have to be over Zoom, and like we'd have to send out video and like virtual tours. And we were on it early, and so many of the recruits that we talked to had mentioned it, like, oh yeah, you guys are the first schools, like one of the first schools, or maybe the first school to talk to us. And usually we are. I think we're usually the first school there. Each year has a different need. So a couple of years ago, we wanted to really bolster the hurdles crew. We've done that. We had 2 years ago, we wanted to really bolster, 3 years ago, really bolster the mid-distance crew. This year, the distance crew was more of a focus for us. So we certainly met that need. We have 10 incoming guys, some really good distance guys. Probably the top in that group is Kenny Inman, who ran 9:12 in the 2 mile last fall. And we have some good hurdlers, some good jumpers too. But we really added to the depth in the distance. We got a good 400 guy in too. So, we want to add every year to the complete track and field team, but also that there are going to be different focuses each year. And building up the cross country and the distance guys, the true longer distance guys, because we have a lot of guys who can run cross country, but they are really like milers and 800 guys. So we want some more 5K, 10K guys, and we were able to do that. I'm really happy with the incoming class. It's an impressive group of guys.
Great, thank you. Do either of you have anything else you want to add before we open it up to Q&A to the group?
I was just going to brag a little bit about Eleni Daughters, who is our top runner, a senior. She's had a lot of adversity this year. She's been injured, and her struggle to come back has been noted, but she's finally back. I think we're getting closer to where she's going to be in top form. But the great thing, people, this is so exciting for Davidson. She is going to use a 5th year in graduate school to run, and she got accepted into Duke, Virginia, Michigan, Stanford, and these are like these are premier track and field programs. And it's been amazing for me to help her figure out, what route she wants to go and tell these coaches what an amazing person she is. So I'm so very excited for her. Wish we could keep her at Davidson for another year, but it's just an amazing opportunity for her. So keep trying to follow her if you can for the next year.
It's really cool. Thank you. Rennie, anything else on your end?
Not so much. I will say that your support means everything to us. This year, even though we weren't competing in the fall, we didn't have an indoor season. We had cross country. The expenses are as much as any year, right? Like, because we're looking after the safety of the athletes. Like, we have to take more buses because we can't just put in 40 guys 40 men and women on a bus. You have to put 12, and then hotel rooms. We're putting the kids in their individual room, and so there are added expenses. The school has, of course, adapted to that. But your support just means everything. And the emails and just encouragement, it all goes so far. It's one of the most special things about Davidson is the alumni and parent support. I've never seen it, and I've worked at other schools. I've never seen anything like it. And I just want you guys to know that it is greatly appreciated.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to move us off of the speaker view and go back into gallery view, and we will go ahead and get questions rolling. So you can either raise your hand or use the chat feature as well, if you prefer. So give me a moment. Okay, so, all right. Janine, do you want to go ahead? You can unmute.
I just wanted to say, I'm Eleni's mom. I just wanted to say how much she has appreciated the team. I don't know, for those of you who know, she's in quarantine. She gets out tomorrow. And the team has been so supportive of her. She was so upset to miss meets and not be there. And I have to say, the guys' distance team, every time they run by, they text her, and she walks outside and waves at them, and they wave back. Mm-hmm. And that means so much to her. The girls' team has dropped off snacks for her. They keep texting her. They keep talking to her. And I'll tell you, the team has helped her get through this past 2 weeks, because she has been devastated to not be able to be there with them. And I just wanted to say it's a really impressive team, how much they love each other and how supportive they are of everyone. So
thank you.
I just wanted to let you know.
All
She's
right.
been missed, believe me.
She is ready to go.
She is ready to go. Every time I see her running down the road, I want to hug her because she can't be with me. And so I call her immediately. I'm like, I just passed you. I'm like, I'm thinking of you.
She is so ready to go. She gets out tomorrow. She's like, can I get out at midnight at 12:01? Am I allowed to go? She is
that's awesome.
so ready to go. And she is ready for Sunday. So
that's great.
And I've been buying her food. Because she sends me pictures of what they give her, and I'm like, that is not acceptable. Order some food.
Thank you, Janine. Okay, Mary, do you want to go ahead with your question? Oh, you have to unmute, sorry. Oh, Mary, can you unmute?
No, I'm Mary Sims. I'm Liz Sims' mom, and I just wanted to comment with Eleni, because I was almost crying when I was hearing about her taking the 5th year and getting all these opportunities, because I know I can speak for Liz coming in and having Eleni to look up to. They're both 800 runners, how inspirational she's been. And I know Liz last year was looking so forward to running with her in the outdoor season, and then COVID intervened. And so just having this year now that with all the complications, Liz had gotten COVID and it had to take some time off, and then Eleni. So it's been challenging. So I'm hoping that the two of them, get that opportunity, but it's wonderful to hear that Eleni moving forward. You've raised a great daughter. So I just wanted to thank you. So that's it.
Thank you, Mary. Do we have some other questions from the group? Todd, go ahead.
Hi, Todd Drometer, Owen Drometer's father. Just a quick question, and thank you so much for doing this and providing an update. I think this is great. But has there been any talk about opening up allowing spectators to potentially come and see any of the events this spring?
Yeah, so actually was texting with the George Mason coach yesterday about the possibility of spectators at conference. I think right now, it's different state by state. They're hoping to have spectators, but they will not know anything. Like they can't make that decision right now. It's really tough. So also, all the mates have said to us at the beginning when they sent out like the meet agreements and the meet information, there'll be no spectators. But as the time has gone on, like that might be subject to change. However, it seems to be that like High Point allowed spectators, but only High Point spectators, only High Point parents. George Mason, for their first meet, that is also what they're saying, is that it's only going to be a small amount of current team members, parents, George Mason team members. We're really hoping that changes. And if that does change, we will put that out. We will let you guys know as soon as possible. We might put it on social media, email lists, etc. But yeah, we want to see you guys. And I know that, the kids want to see you guys too, so.
All right, other questions? Anyone have some competition questions, training questions?
I do want to say that what we're seeing here, like kind of what we're supposed at Davidson with the mid-distance group is really exciting and special. Like they have the opportunity in the coming years to, have a very competitive 4x8 distance medley teams that might go to Penn relays and mix it up with the big schools, and that's pretty exciting. Owen has the opportunity and kind of the looking like he is on track, and a lot of things have to go right, of course, and but he is up to it, and he is he's a hard worker and competitive as can be. There's a possibility that Owen's a sub 4-minute miler here at Davidson, and that is rare. That's a pretty cool thing, and it's great for our program. It's great just to see him, and he's as the possibilities open up to him and see like, oh wow, I can really run fast here, and that's a really cool thing to see. And it's I know it's rewarding for everyone in the program to see that, and then it's bringing along the other guys too. And to have Daniel kind of make that breakthrough last year where he won the conference championship, the kids really see those possibilities. And so that group working together, and it's a young group too, is really cool, so yeah, again, I can't say enough good things about those kids, but it's going to be really exciting to see that. And with each meet, comes better results. So.
Some questions? Feel free to speak up if you have one ready to go. Anybody?
Yeah, I'll weigh in. Hey, everyone. My name is Patrick Rollo, class of 2016. I was just messaging with Rennie here a little bit. In the realm of not being able to see things physically, obviously it's challenging. I love this format. Love that we're getting an update. And it'd be awesome if we could get the opportunity maybe to do something with current members at some point, kind of hear their experiences. Obviously it's challenging, feeling kind of isolated. Just to show that we're still here. I know the men's team specifically, we still have a very close-knit group. We have a group messaging thing that goes on, literally members from like class of 2019 all the way to like 2008, 09. We still stay in constant touch. So it'd be something great. And while we have parents here too, I thought it'd be a great opportunity. You know, as someone that's kind of really struggled with the transition from college to afterlife and hopefully is finally figuring it out. I think there's a lot of great opportunities that, you know, hopefully in these trying times have emerged with how much we can accomplish through Zoom. And in that regard too, I think it'd be great. And this is an ongoing thing. You know, I'd love to work with both you, Jen, Rennie, but I think it'd be great to get something more formalized, set in place that we can interact with current members, you know, albeit day-to-day life, academic advice, as well as, you know, post-grad life, helping with jobs. We really have an amazing group of alumni. They're spread all throughout the country in all different industries. You know, I can only imagine the difficulty of losing an entire season, academic year, et cetera, in college. Were some of the most, you know, amazing times of my life. And that's without going in a pandemic, you know, having that sense of freedom and release from the day to day. So I just want to say, yeah, thanks for hosting this. I think it's a really great event, and hopefully it's, you know, one of many to come, and happy to be a resource in any way I can to, you know, coaches and parents alike. You know, feel free to reach out anytime.
Yeah, Patrick, I think it would be great because I know that some of the student athletes on the women's side have struggled to get back to like the competitive state of mind because they've been off for so long. And I always loved watching you compete. You're a great avid competitor. So I know that they are reaching out to try to figure out what kind of experiences other people had and what kind of, you know, ebbs and flows in their career. So I think like it is worth having that type of forum for both the teams. I think that's something Rennie and I would love to do. It's always great to get advice from somebody who's been there and done that. So thank you.
Yeah. And, you know, it's incredible to see the program reaching new heights. You know, the fact that we have people doing 5th years was very few and far between when I was there and even beforehand. And that guard, we have, you know, slowly more examples of that. And I'm sure it's a little bit of untested waters. And, you know, I think there's lots of help that could be given. And I think people are really, you know, freely available and interested in doing so. So, you know, feel free to reach out. Happy to be a liaison if I can in any ways. We really have an amazing resource of people that have really been helpful to me, and I'm sure would be helpful as well. And, you know, would love to help out the women's team as well. I think we haven't had as great of a cross, you know, cultural group post-grad, but I think the younger alums have had a way better kind of intermixing of the programs, especially as the programs have become more combined over the years. So I just think it'd be great. I think there's lots of formal programs we could kind of set in place to help, you know, across the gamut of experiences. And yeah, would be happy to help in any way I can.
Yeah,
Thank you.
to add to that, so definitely it's something that we've talked about, and I think we have a plan for to make that happen sooner rather than later. We have a new person, well, relatively new, been here for a couple of years now, and it's kind of been under the direction of, you know, in the leadership, I think, of our athletic director, who has been great. But there is someone who is specifically working with Josh King, working with student athletes in career development services. And that has really helped with alumni outreach. And I think that, you know, all alums should be receiving those emails from the school about career development services and those. But it's been great. And in fact, like, our graduating kids this year, they have jobs already, or they know that they're going to grad school. I mean, Daniel is going to be running. He has a 5th year, so he's running at UNC Charlotte next year as well. So, yeah.
To add on to that, for those alumni that are on the call, we actually have a new platform. It's actually been around about a year, called Davidson Connect. And the goal of that platform is to do exactly this, is to connect alumni with our current students, and particularly from our teams and our scholar athlete perspective. Each athletic program or each athletic team has a group within Davidson Connect. And so if you're an alum, you should go sign up for it. And then you can write like what your current career path is, what you may be able to, you can make, say, I'm ready to help someone, and student athletes then have the ability to connect you if they need some advice as far as maybe grad school, a particular career or field of study. And it's really a really cool platform, but it doesn't work unless people are signed up for it. So I'm going to put a link to that in the chat here so everyone knows about it. But both for parents and for alums, it's a really unique opportunity to connect everyone together. So I'll send that over here in the chat in a second. I'll go to Bill Smith first, and then we'll go to a question from the chat.
Great, thank you very much, and thank you, coaches, for what you're doing. I'm curious, what do you know about the fall, or when might you know, so that we can anticipate when there is this proverbial return to normal, if you will? We are very confident that the fall will be a return to normal. Classes will be in person. The competitions, we expect a full cross-country season. There might be some little changes, you know, with COVID, maybe like meet protocols or something like that. Like where we might, you know, the kids on most meets, they are getting like their temperatures checked before they get on the bus. Like maybe that kind of thing continues as just a safety precaution. But we're really like the smiles on our faces when we got an email saying that all the classes are going to be in person next fall. The team is just thrilled, and we're really looking forward to that. So yeah, so that's the answer. We hope that we're full go, and we've been told that by, but you know, the school that obviously that we're going to be in person in classes, and that the A10 season is going to, you know, be as normal. So.
Great, thanks. Rennie, I'm going to read a question from the chat from Richard. What times are the men running in the 5K? As a former through miler, I'm interested how my times would compare to theirs.
Yeah, so this is a good question. I think it's tricky too, because a lot of our guys, who probably are our best 5K guys, are really not going to be focusing on the 5K either. But to give you an idea, like cross country, we did a 5K time trial out on the trails. So really, really tricky out there on the trails before some of these kids unfortunately did contact COVID and mono. We had guys who were running, you know, like Owen on the trails that day. He ran at 14:57 for 5K. So probably like on the track, I think Owen could probably run like 14:15, 14:10 maybe. And then we have a bunch of guys who are anywhere probably running the 14:20s to, you know, 14:50. Probably have 3 or 4 guys. Certainly Max would be right there trying to run. He's had a little bit of a rough go with it. Max Pearson, he's run great at Davidson, but has had some things that were out of his control. He's training well, and we're hoping to get him back before the end of the season. But I think that he's one of those guys who next year should be very much looking forward to trying to qualify for NCAAs in the 5K. He's certainly on that path. To qualify for NCAAs, you have to run like 14:10, 14:08-ish range in the 5K. So I don't know, I hope that answers your question, maybe. Granted, like that there are, you know, kids are getting faster every year, right? Like we're not running on the old cinder tracks that people had to run on in the 70s and all that. So.
Thanks, Rennie. All right, Katie has a question.
Oh, I just wanted to just share some positives from my daughter's experience. Frances is a freshman this year, and I just have heard her share that her experience this year has been so much improved by being a part of the team, that the opportunity to live in the dorm with some other team members and athletes, and now being able to go to different other sporting events for other teams, and she knows them through, you know, just kind of the little opportunity they've had to interact in the dorm and outside with their masks. And then also just the training experience has been really great for her. She, I think, is dealing with a little injury right now, but I can tell that she feels very cared for, well, that they're taking great care of her and doing cross training and things to keep her competing, maybe not in the event that she anticipated, but she's just been very pleased to be able to be a part of this running program in this strange year. So thank you, everybody.
And just a shout out to that Frances is the rookie that was the all rookie girl. Just an FYI that I talked about earlier. And Mom, you'd be really happy because she knocked the workout out of the park yesterday. So we had a really tough workout, and she was really excited about how it turned out. So I'll keep trying to make her experience a good one.
Great. Anyone else have any questions? All right.
This has been great. It's been great to see all of you guys, and I hope we can do this with more regularity going forward, too.
I agree.
Great.
Thank you.
Do either of you want to offer any closing words? It doesn't look like we have any more questions.
I would say we're trying to update social media. Like Sports Info has done a pretty good job of like updating like meet day information and that kind of stuff. Granted, it is hectic right now because all the sports are competing, right? Where like all the fall sports are competing in the spring. So it's been really tough, I think, for Sports Info, just to cover. They can't be in 3 places at once, even though they would like to be. But they're trying to put out meet information, streaming information and that kind of stuff. So like checking the Instagram is probably the best, and Twitter is nice for to get those updates.
Yeah, and I just want to also say thank you to everyone, because it's really hard to not thank people enough for their support, even if it's not support that is directly and overt to our faces, because we know that behind the scenes, we do have a ton of support. It just makes our life and our jobs easier when we know what we're doing is meaningful to not only us and our team, but to others. And you just showing up on this Zoom just makes my heart swell with pride that you care to listen to us. I mean, it's really special. So if you can do it again, and if you ever have any questions, you can always email me or text me or even call me. So I'm humbly grateful. Thank you.
Jen couldn't have said that any better, but I will also add that you can always contact me too.
All right. With that, I think we will wrap up. We will actually keep this recording, and we'll upload it and send out a link so anyone who missed it can watch it later. And I am hopeful that we'll be able to do this again before the school year wraps up. So we look forward to seeing your faces on Zoom again, and hopefully in person sooner than later. So thank you, everybody. Have a great week.